How's it going, everybody? Wait for everybody to get on here. I tell you what I'm excited about, and I want to hear what you're excited about. I'm excited about the game at the Field of Dreams Park in Iowa that the Yankees and the White Sox were supposed to play last year, but it ended up getting canceled because of COVID, obviously. But yeah, I saw some pictures of the field. It looks really tremendous. And I think that that's going to be a really good event for baseball. It'll be fun to see those guys playing on that field. And I wonder what the dimensions are going to be like. I haven't really seen anything about how big the park is. You would think that it's going to be basically symmetrical like it was in the movie, where it's probably like 30 or 330 down the lines, probably 400 a center. But we'll see. All right. The janitor. So here's how this works. This is kind of just for fun tonight. I don't have any major news to break or whatever. But I was in the mood to talk a little bit about Clint Frazier and Brett Gardner, since it looks like the Yankees may not sign Brett Gardner. Let's see. I got some questions here. Doesn't look like my mod has showed up yet, so I'm going to do my best to get to everybody. So Clint Frazier. He really had a breakout year last year. One of the things that always was kind of a major factor with Clint Frazier is that, thanks Yankees 2021, is that his bat speed is basically off the charts. And I was looking at Baseball Savant, and I'm going to pull up Baseball Savant for you guys. That's where I get most of my baseball research done when I'm scouting players. So I'm going to actually hide my face here. Let's see. So you guys can see the entire... If you look at Clint Frazier's stats, they're really not crazy, but he ranks really high in barrel percentage, in hard hit percentage, he's actually faster than I thought. He's 68%, or in the 68th percentile. Brett Gardner's only in, I think, the 83rd percentile. He used to be in the 99th percentile. Okay, so we got some breaking news. Oh, we're about to break some news here. Hang on just a second. Bauer to the Mets, according to Bob Nightingale. Does anybody have Bob Nightingale's Twitter account so I can... Let's see, just hang on. Bob Nightingale... I spelled it wrong. Nightingale. Twitter. Yeah, I heard he was close. It was like... Okay, so Trevor Bauer to the Mets. Wow. I don't know what the numbers are going to be. The last I saw was that they were talking about 4 years at 35 per year, which would be, I think, 4 years, 140. Yeah, 35, 70 times 2, 140. That's actually a pretty decent deal. Trevor Bauer to the Mets. Wow, that rotation is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Oh my goodness. I'm at a loss for words. That new Mets owner is what George Steinbrenner used to be. Back in, not so much in like the 90s, but more like the 70s, when he brought in guys like Reggie and Goose Gossage and Catfish Hunter. Wow. Unbelievable. But yeah, it's Bob Nightingale is reporting. Let's go to Twitter here. I'm going to pull up the account here. Hang on just a second. Bob Nightingale is saying that the Mets and Trevor Bauer have a deal. Let's see what the Twitter folks are saying. It doesn't say anything about the numbers, but wow. Bauer's already trending. He's going to do so much for that team. Somebody else, Feinstan, says the Mets continue to be engaged, but that was 3 hours ago. So Nightingale said 5 minutes ago that Bauer and the Mets have a deal. I trust Bob Nightingale. He's got that little blue check mark. USA Today is a major paper. He's a Baseball Writers of America writer. Excuse me while I drink some water. Wow, Trevor Bauer in that rotation? Are you kidding me? What if we get another Subway Series next year? That would be crazy. I was listening to the Michael Kay appearance on Hot Stove, I think. Was it Hot Stove? No, it wasn't Hot Stove. It was the one with Michael Mad or Mike Francesa. No, not what's his name? Frickin' Mike Russo. Mike Russo. Francesa's the guy. Hey, dog. That's Francesa. Russo's the guy with way too much energy. He was talking to Michael Kay, and Michael Kay said basically that if you look at projected WAR for all the teams, the Yankees are projected to have 51 wins above replacement, and the next closest team, the second place team, was the Los Angeles Dodgers, the world champion Los Angeles Dodgers at 46. Andrew Wallace says, you need to do more videos about Dominguez. Look, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, Andrew. I've done like 10 videos about Jason Dominguez. It's really hard to do videos about Jason Dominguez because all we have is footage of him taking batting practice. Once the season starts, I'm going to be displaying, or I'm going to be doing a weekly show called The Martian Tracker, which if you haven't seen it, maybe I'll just add that video real quick. Hang on just a second. Bear with me. I know this is not going to be the most exciting of my streams, but it's kind of a, I don't know if you guys can see it. Shoot. I'm not going to be able to do it right now. Actually, you know what I can do? I can go to my own YouTube and pull up the Martian Tracker. So this is something that I announced last week. My plan is to check in with Jason Dominguez each week and sort of follow his stats. All right, so let's go to this. You guys hear that? This is a fun little animation. There he is. There's Jason with 2 S's. Martian Tracker. I got the little 8-bit soundtrack. Basically, I want to check in with Jason Dominguez all season long. He's going to have good weeks. He's going to have bad weeks, but I think that it's going to be a fun season to watch for Jason Dominguez. I don't have any idea what the minor leagues are going to look like this season. Is fun. Okay, so Joseph Sabin. I thought that said Joseph Stalin. I'm not. I thought you named your account after that dictator who killed 50 million people. The Mad Dog, Christopher Dorazio over here. But yeah, Fine Sand I guess is saying no deal between Mets and Bauer. I'm gonna say that it's probably likely, even if it's not done. The fact that somebody of the caliber of Bob Nightingale would report it, I think that it's probably going to get done. Lori C says, let's see if he can hit the curve first. You know what? We were going to talk about Frazier, and we will talk about Frazier and Gardner, but let's talk about Dominguez. Let's talk about him. I'll tell you why I'm excited about him. And I'm excited because the scouts are really excited. The scouts don't say he's the best Yankees prospect in a decade. Or they don't say he's the best prospect since Mike Trout, or the best prospect since Bryce Harper. They use very specific language, and pretty much all of them who've seen him say the same thing. They say he's the best they've ever seen. Ever. These scouts, professional scouts who spend their entire lives, have dedicated their lives to watching baseball. This camera makes me look kind of jacked in this shirt. I promise I'm not that jacked. I'm actually I put on the 20 pounds this Corona season. But anyway, scouts say that he's got not only tremendous talent, he can hit from both sides of the plate, where he hits for power to all fields, but he's got like NFL running back type speed. He's got incredible speed. I want to say he ran a 4.140, something like that, like one of the fastest times that the Yankee scouts had seen. He effortlessly throws 96 miles an hour. I saw a video on, I want to say it was John Boy's account. By the way, congratulations to Dan O'Rourke of Yankees Avenue for signing with John Boy Media. Full time. Good job, buddy. You deserve it. Your channel is tremendous. I don't know if he's going to keep Yankees Avenue, but I wish you nothing but the best, and I'm so happy for him. I just think that's great news. It's going to be great for John Boy and his team, too. I actually reached out to John Boy and his team to see if they want to do any projects together. I don't think I would go ever full-time doing something like that, but I would love, if you're watching this, John Boy, I would love to do a project with you guys because, I just think it would be great to work together and build the community. But anyway, there was a video on John Boy's Twitter that showed Dominguez just kind of effortlessly warming up. and they had the radar gun on it. There goes Joba the cat, named after Jabba Chamberlain. And he threw 96 miles an hour. I'm going to see if I can find the video. Somebody find the video and link to it. So many Mets upset about Bob Nightingale reporting. I mean, I would be upset too if Jeff Passan came out and said that the Yankees got Trevor Bauer and it turned out they didn't. I'd be freaking pissed. Anthony Barker. By the way, I love your picture. It always makes me laugh because you're looking right at the camera like, hey, what up, dude? Anyway, this is what's great. I love interacting with the community. You guys, to me, are so much more than the numbers in the sub. I want to really, develop a friendship with all of you guys over the course of this season. And I'm going to try and live stream after every season. But anyway, back to the question. Anthony Barker says, what is the Yankees' next move? And that gets to my second point. Brett Gardner has not been signed yet. I don't know if he's coming back. Right now, it doesn't look like he's coming back. Brian Cashman said basically they're set with what they have. He said they're ready to go with what they have. But honestly, it would not surprise me if they brought back Brett Gardner. On the interview with Mike Russo, High Heat, that's what it is. High Heat with Mike Russo or Chris Russo. Those guys, they're so interchangeable to me because it used to be just Mike and the Mad Dog. Chris Russo and Michael Kay were talking about this whole situation. And he said that the Yankees have $9 million left to spend. I've seen a few people say that the Yankees have $3 million left to spend. I've seen a few people say 10. I'm going to go with Michael Kay because I feel like he's got the pulse on the team. I've been following Michael Kay since 1989. I'm going to tell you about how I first started listening to Michael Kay and how I first started getting... Sorry about the stream. Is it back yet? Let me hang on. Can you guys hear me? Somebody let me know because I cut out apparently for a second. My internet, I guess, got spotty. I'm gonna pull it up. Okay, great. So everybody can hear me. Okay, so what I was talking about was on High Heat with Chris Russo and Michael Kay. They were talking about how much money the Yankees have left to spend and whether or not they're going to make any more moves. And Michael Kay seems to think that the Yankees have about $9 million left to spend. And I don't know if they're going to spend that on Brett Gardner. I really don't because that basically means that you can't add anybody during the season. If the Yankees have an injury or something, and I will get to this, Yankees 2021, I'll get to this in a second. I did see that, the Yankees do have some left to spend, but I feel like if somebody gets hurt or they need a pitcher, they got a lot of question marks in that rotation. If they need to go out and get a pitcher halfway through the season, you can't do that if you've used up all your payroll without unloading payroll. And they just unloaded Ottavino, which I don't know if they have any more, opportunities to get rid of payroll, really, unless they trade Chapman, which I don't think they'll do. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about Yankees 2021 says, did you see that Judge was doing yoga and lifting less weights this offseason? What do I think about that? I think it's terrific. I think he recognizes that he needs to gain more flexibility, especially in his oblique area. He's had multiple oblique injuries. He's had some calf injuries and things like that. So, and sorry about the glitch, folks. We've got limited internet speed here, and I think my wife is watching a workout video and doing a workout in the other room while I sit on my butt here. So I think it's great that Judge is doing more yoga. I hope Stanton can do more yoga. I hope they're doing yoga together. Borg says hello. I call him the Borg because he's just a series of numbers, not an individual. If we sign Gardner, is Frazier the next Bubba Crosby? Frazier is much better than Bubba Crosby ever was on his best day. Let's see. What was the other question I had from Lori C? It was, any truth to the rumor that the Yanks are looking to get German Marquez? So look, I can't verify whether rumors are true or not. I don't have any connections to the Yankees. I'm not a sports writer. I'm a blogger. I'm a vlogger, basically. I'm a marketing professional. I'm a video guy. I spend my days making videos for work and doing marketing for a corporation. And I make videos and watch baseball and watch movies, which we're going to talk about, in my spare time. So I read everything that that is written about the Yankees. I subscribe to The Athletic. I give Twitter a look now and then. I go to Reddit. And I've seen German Marquez's name a few times, but honestly, I'm not a German Marquez fan. Let me pull up his baseball savants, and I'll show you why. Where is he? Okay. So let's look at German Marquez real quick. If you look at his numbers, and granted, he plays in Colorado, but he's got very little fastball spin. He does have a good curveball, but he doesn't miss many bats. His exit velocity is not great. So I think the Yankees are going to go with what they have in the rotation. I really do. THG, welcome. That's my mod. Have you ever been to a Yankees game? Yes, I've been to dozens and dozens and dozens of Yankees games. I've gone many times. I've been much to the new Yankee Stadium, but every couple of years I try and drive up and make a road trip and go to like a weekend full of games. Oh yeah, the hat. Just love that. This is a rare situation. I'm not wearing my Yankees hat. I noticed as I was getting to go live that I wasn't wearing it, so I just grabbed the nearest hat, and it was this one. But it's fitting because we were talking about The Martian earlier. Let's see. David Talks Sports says, "Hi, Derek. I'm trying to make a sports channel. Any advice?" Yes. Yes. Let me take a sip of water first. And I'll give this advice because I get a lot of questions about what programs I use to make videos and things like that, and why my channel looks so unique compared to other channels. And it's not because I'm using any special program. I'm not, I haven't hacked, the internet. I haven't figured it out. I've developed all these things. I've spent many, many, many hours of work. I'll tell you my story, my basic story of how I got involved in podcasting. And this can be just like a long personal diatribe, but, why not? We got nothing to do. It's February. There's no baseball going on. So a couple of years ago, I was watching a Kevin Smith podcast, and I love Kevin Smith. He's one of my favorite directors of all time. He directed Clerks, which you haven't seen. It's fantastic. He's got a bunch of infantile movies, but they're great. They just make me laugh. All right, the janitor wants to see the hair. There's not much left of it. Anyway, I was watching Kevin Smith, and basically he said, if you've ever felt like you're passionate about something and you want to do a podcast, just do it. The only way to know if you can do it is to do it. And so I started with a audio-only podcast about movies, because obviously I collect movies. I'm a big movie fan. I collect physical media. And I promise we'll get to baseball movies. But I started recording podcasts about different subjects. And I ran out of movies. I did like 100 episodes, but it taught me a lot about audio. And then I was like, well, I need to mix in some video components. So I started posting those on YouTube. But I would just basically have a photoshopped image of the cover of the thumbnail of whatever my topic was, something creative, and it wasn't getting any views. So I figured, you know what, I should probably start talking more. And so I started getting on and doing more like, in-face discussions about movies and reviews. And I got up to like 500 or 600 followers, and it was doing okay. The audio podcast got like 8,000 subscribers, but you don't get, which is what I have now on YouTube, but you don't get any money until you get to like 30,000 subscribers on iTunes. So I was like, shit, I need to find something that I can talk about every day and make more content, because I can't watch all these movies. I don't have the time. And so I got on after the Yankees signed Garrett Cole, and this video is still on my channel somewhere. And I just gave my thoughts. And there was no effects. There was no video reel. There was no Yankee Stadium background. There was a little bit of cool lighting, but I didn't have a pop filter. I just got in front of a mic and sat there and talked uncomfortably for 5 or 10 minutes about Garrett Cole. Sorry that it keeps glitching out, guys. This doesn't usually happen, but the internet must be kind of wonky tonight. We've had some bad weather here. But anyway, short of it was I was recording a short podcast, a short little commentary on the Yankees signing Garrett Cole. and like 30 people subscribed. And I was like, holy cow, that's way more than I ever got for any of my movie things in one video. So I said, what if I took some of my video skills from marketing and tried to make a template and sort of tried to add some production value to these. So I started doing them, and I kind of fell in love with doing it. And I was doing them through the entire, spring training last year until it got shut down. And it was going really well. And I was really amped up, and I was feeling really comfortable. And then COVID hit, and we had 3 months without baseball. So it gave me a lot of time to invest in learning about how to do this. And so I started watching videos. And so going back to whoever asked the question back 10 minutes ago when I started on this diatribe and before my internet cut out, somebody said, what advice? Watch other people that you like. Watch other videos, watch other creators, see what they do. Watch workflow videos, find out what tools they use. So I basically I built this reel of highlights, and I am always adding to it. Last summer, I also have another one that I call the backwards chronological reel, where for the highlights of every game, I'll drop them right in. Borg says, how? So I don't want to give away the secret sauce because, I don't want somebody to steal my idea, somebody who has the extra time. I will say that it all comes together in Final Cut Pro. So I use a number of different techniques. Some of it I screen capture some video. Some of it I design in Photoshop. Sometimes I'll make a GIF or a GIF, depending on how you want to pronounce it, out of a video. And then I basically put it all together in Final Cut Pro, which I had to learn. And I learned that last year over the COVID break. So that's what I was working on for months and months and months. Okay. Let's see. How do you feel about the Yankees' rotation depth? I feel a lot better now that I've seen Jameson Taillon, and it's pronounced Taillon. Now that I've seen him throw. I talked a little bit about this, and some of you guys know that I like to break down pitcher mechanics. Everybody has their own things that they look for in a game. Some people are really good at analyzing swings. I'm pretty good with swings, but I'm much better at analyzing pitching mechanics. And I've always thought that the way that Jameson Taillon threw, where he would get that arm way back here and then fling it, I would try and throw like that just when I'm warming up with my friends, just kind of emulating his windup just to see how it feels. Oh, by the way, thank you for the, somebody says, Lori donated $10. Thank you so much. Thank you. Like, I can't always see when people donate, but people do donate occasionally. And whenever I see it, I try and thank you. But thank you so much for that. Where was I? So Jameson Taillon, the way he was throwing, I tried to throw like that. Because I thought, maybe if I could get my arm back further, it would allow me to build up more arm speed as I went forward. And so I started doing it. Let me grab a baseball. I'm going to try not to chuck it in my monitor. But I noticed that as I would pull my arm forward, it would put strain right on my ulnar collateral ligament. And I've never had any ulnar collateral problems. I've always had shoulder problems because I'm short. I'm 5'10". And so even though I could throw hard, I put a lot of strain on my shoulder. And so my shoulder gave out way before my elbow. I still throw a lot, like just tossing with my friends and stuff, but I really can't pitch anymore. But I always felt like Jameson Taillon was going to have elbow issues. And Lamar says something important, and I'll get to this. I love that Taillon and Cole are besties. I do too. I think team chemistry is very important. And I think having pitchers that study the game and study things like spin rate and all that, it's really important. Sorry about all the glitching, guys. This is very unusual for this to happen. But ever since Jameson Taillon fixed his motion, if you watch him now, he basically gets his arm back here and then brings it right next to his ear. And what that does is it creates a much more powerful position. I'll give you a little test at home. Put your arm out like this and then push on it. And you'll notice how easy it is to push on your arm. Now put your arm basically in kind of like almost like you're making a bicep, and then push on your arm. And you'll find that it's a lot stronger. It's a lot harder to move your own arm because you're in a more powerful position. Just by knowing about biomechanics a pitcher can get better. And the fact that he recognized that he was hurting himself with the way he threw, I think it was great that, 3 years, $93 million for Bauer. Is that official? Is that official? Anyway, I think the fact that he's adjusted his motion to be more mechanical and more biometrically sound can only help him. I don't know if he's going to stay healthy. I don't know if his stuff is going to be better. But let's hope so. Alex says, how do you make your format? It's a lot of hard work, buddy. I really can't explain it. It's not like a simple, it's not like some website you can go to make this. I had to make this by hand. The same way that they make Thanos by hand in the Avengers. I had to basically take all this stuff and piece it together. And it took a long, long time. And it's really, really hard. So I'm not confident that somebody can just do it, but it's, it is what it is. Lucas Giolito, he's another guy who had that. That's a really great point, Borg. He had that big loopy arm motion, and he's changed his motion. So, yeah, I believe it. I think he'll get better. And Jameson Taillon is a guy who has a really good curveball too. He's got good command. I think he could be a really nice pickup for the Yankees. I'm also excited about Corey Kluber. I've seen some images of him. He looks fit. He looks like he's in really great shape, but I will say this. He looks weird without the beard. All right, let's see what else we got here. They say Mets or Dodgers for back. See, it's going back and forth. I'm agreeing that Nightingale isn't that reliable right now because he's typically he has been, but if you say that there's a deal, there better damn well be a deal, or you're going to look like you have egg on your face. Prince Boss says, what's your views on Trevor Story trade for Andujar and some prospects or Tyler Wade? It'll never happen. That's just not enough to give the Rockies. I do think that Andujar would do fantastic. I think Andujar would hit 370 in Colorado. As much as he puts the bat on the ball, and he puts the bat on the ball a lot. He hits doubles, he hits triples. He would probably have an 850 OPS in Colorado. But he can't play defense. So unless he proves that he can play defense, there's no way that you're going to, make any kind of deal. Lamar says Yankees versus Padres in the World Series. I would take that. It's either going to be the Yankees or the White Sox, I think, out of the American League. I don't think the Rays have the pitching to get it done anymore in the rotation, and I don't think the Jays have the pitching to get it done, although I think both of those teams can give the Yankees some trouble because they're familiar with the Yankees, but I don't think Houston's going to be a threat anymore. So we'll see. All right, let's keep those questions coming. Some people are mad at Klubers because he threw at Jeter. I don't remember him throwing at Jeter. I remember Pedro throwing at Jeter, but nobody pretty much threw at Jeter. I don't remember that. I've seen almost every Yankee game since about 1992. I've maybe missed a handful of games, maybe 5 or 10 games per season over the last 30 plus years. All right, let's talk baseball movies because I was talking about Field of Dreams earlier. Who remember? Is anybody on this stream old enough to have a VHS? This is my VHS copy of Field of Dreams. I've had it since I was like 8 years old. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. You used to have to rewind a movie after you rented it and bring it back to the store, or they would charge you money. There's a great documentary I just watched on Apple TV called The Last Blockbuster. It's about the last remaining video store, the Blockbuster. But Field of Dreams, probably my favorite baseball movie. I'm also a big fan of Major League. What baseball movies do you guys like? I want to see. Alex says, I wonder if you're making MLB The Show content. So that's one thing I wanted to ask the audience about. I know a lot of people are polarized. Excuse me. Some people don't like to watch video game channels, and I'm obviously not a video game channel. But I do occasionally make some, MLB The Show videos. I did a trailer reaction last year, and then I did a couple of games when it first came out. I did like a midnight live stream of the Yankees roster. I wanted to see. They had the minor leaguers in the game officially for the first time last year, which was pretty fun. Getting to play with Dominguez and all that stuff. Okay, Pride of the Yankees. Lou Gehrig. Great story of Lou Gehrig. I used to work for the ALS Association. Lou Gehrig disease is ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. Pretty much the worst disease I can think of, where your body basically fails you. And Lou Gehrig had that, and it unfortunately ended his career. But what a humbling story that is. Disney's The Rookie. I remember when that guy came to the major leagues. He actually struck out Paul O'Neill, and I remember Paul O'Neill was joking about it in a broadcast last year, saying, I got struck out by a science teacher or whatever. THG says, we got the coffee mug from the store. Appreciate it. Angels in the Outfield. I don't watch that one because I find the baseball motions that the guys go through, like the, I don't even know what it's called, like the pitching motions and the swinging and stuff. It looks like actors doing stuff. It doesn't look like actual baseball players. I'll tell you another good one is For Love of the Game. Another good Kevin Costner movie. Kevin Costner's in a lot of baseball movies. And he plays a pitcher who actually throws a perfect game against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium. And the announcer was the guy Vin Scully from the Dodgers. I thought that was a tremendous, tremendous movie. Mr. Baseball, great movie. Oh my God, I'm going to watch that as soon as I'm done with this stream. That's got Tom Selleck, Mr. Mustache. Tom Selleck was like a big hit in the 80s, but he hasn't been in anything lately other than those commercials like reverse home loans and stuff like that. His career's really gone downhill, man. Hey, look, Unhinged Yankees. If you guys don't follow Patrick, this is Patrick from 643DP. Go follow his account. You can come back to the stream in a minute. Go follow Unhinged Yankees. Everybody, there's 134 people on this stream right now. Go follow it. Patrick's a little younger than me. What are you, about 20? You're in college or whatever, Patrick? But Patrick knows about as much baseball as I do. And I've been watching baseball for 30 years. So the minute I first talked to Patrick, I was impressed. And I was like, I have got to find a way to do some content with this guy because he knows baseball. And I see Patrick out there grinding on Facebook every day. And to somebody who asked earlier, what are some pieces of advice? Do what Patrick's doing. Get comfortable on camera. Put in the work. Put in the hours. Shout out to Patrick, man. Your channel's fantastic. Mr. 3000. Oh, Bernie Mac was tremendous in that movie. I miss Bernie Mac. He died suddenly of like a lung thing a few years ago. One of the original kings of comedy. THG says, The Sandlot. You're killing me, Smalls. I saw a great meme the other day where this guy was on the street and he was wearing a shirt that said, You're killing me, Smalls. And the actual Smalls and the actual kid who said that were walking by and they took a picture with him, like a selfie. And they were like, the kid didn't understand why these guys were taking a photo with him, but it was the two guys that were referenced on his shirt. Gotta have dinner. Gotta eat, man. That's okay. That was okay. Go do your thing. Thoughts on advanced stats? I think they're great. I think the more stats we can get, the better. The janitor says there's an interesting documentary on the whole A-Rod thing. I did see that. Screwball is really, really good. There's another good one I watched recently called Fastball. I don't know if it's on Netflix anymore, but I watched it on Netflix. So if you have that, check it out. It basically talks about how good fastballs are. They interview guys like Derek Jeter. They talk about Aroldis Chapman. They talk about Nolan Ryan's fastball, which I think they said was like 105 or 108 miles an hour. Something like that. All right, let's see. Field of Dreams. Edwin NG says Field of Dreams. That is my favorite baseball movie. And look, I don't even really know if Field of Dreams is essentially a baseball movie. I'm gonna channel my old movie podcast day, and I'm not even gonna list this live stream on my channel. I'm just gonna kind of leave it, just having fun tonight. But I think Field of Dreams is more about a father and son, and baseball is the vehicle to tell that story. Let's see. Trouble with the Curve. That's another good one with Clint Eastwood, and I want to say was it Justin Timberlake was in that movie? And who was the woman in that movie? She was the same girl from, she played Lois Lane in Man of Steel. I don't remember her name. but she's great. She's frickin' beautiful. Let's see. The Natural. Oh, what a great baseball movie. Robert Redford. And I remember the guy runs through the outfield wall and he dies, and Robert Redford takes over. Another good one is The Fan. It's got Wesley Snipes and Robert De Niro. It's got John Kruk. And it's about Wesley Snipes. I remember signs like a $30 million deal. His name was like Rob Brayburn or something, or Ray Brayburn. I don't remember what his name, but and I remember they said 30 million, and it was like the biggest deal ever at that point. And I was like, oh my God, that's like one season for somebody now. And I remember he couldn't hit because somebody else, I think his name was Juan Prieto on the team, was wearing his number 33, and he had to wear number 34. And it had John Leguizamo as his agent, and he was like, Jesus Christ was 33 when he died. Maybe you'll play as good as Jesus. Mike Prince says Rookie of the Year was fun. Henry Rowan and Gardner. That's pretty much all I remember from that movie. And like he had that weird throwing motion where he'd like, and it would just like it made no sense whatsoever. $1 Million Arm. That's another great one with John Hamm. John Hamm was tremendous in that. That was about 108.8. That was the Nolan Ryan fastball. $1 Million Arm. That was the one where they had the two guys that were signed out of India. Whatever happened to those guys? Did they ever make it? I don't think they did, but I'm sure they made it to the minor leagues. But I don't know if they ever made it beyond that. So Borg says, would you consider doing breakdowns of Yankee pitchers from spring training clips? I'm absolutely planning on doing that. The minute that we start getting bullpens, I'm really looking forward to seeing Corey Kluber, and I will do a breakdown of Corey Kluber when it starts. And I also want to break down some of the younger guys. I want to see if Clark Schmidt has really corrected himself. We saw that brief bullpen where he looked really, really good. He was driving all of his momentum towards home plate. That's what I want to see. When you're driving down that mound, you need to basically get over top, tuck that elbow, and get directly towards home plate. He wasn't doing that last year. He was this year. Let's see. How can someone get clips to use on a baseball channel? Great question. Go to Google and type in MLB Film Room, and you can search for clips from wherever you want. And basically, what it does is you can add up to 5 clips to a reel. So 5 strikeouts or 5 hits or 5 home runs or whatever, which would take about, maybe 50 seconds of time. And what I do is, to avoid copyright issues, what I do is I cut them to all 9 seconds or less. Because that's fair use. Anything under 10 seconds is, according to law, fair use, and it doesn't get copyright infringement. So that's the way I do it. Who is the greatest of all time? Oh, man. It's hard for me not to say the Babe because he was so much better than his competition. I mean, he was just a world better than his competition. But then you hear the stories of Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle, and it really had to be, one of those three, in my opinion. Best pitcher I've ever seen was Randy Johnson in his prime. He was unhittable. Mike Prince says Amy Adams. Hell yeah. Nick Stark says, big fan. Favorite movie is The Sandlot. One of the best. Somebody says 12. Ashcott Baseball says 12. I've never heard of 12. Is that a baseball movie? Somebody's post the plot for 12. And I'll post your comment. Oh yeah, there's no crying in baseball. A League of Their Own. My favorite was when they're introducing all of the women from the team, and they're saying like, "Oh, Gina Davis's character, she's got a great arm, she's a great hitter." Some Madonna's, "Oh, she's so wonderful, fast, or whatever." And then they have that girl from second base who was kind of like frumpy looking, and they show her from far away, like from like a mile away, and she's just like, and they say, "Marla, what a hitter." The Babe Ruth story. There's one. Is that with Bendix? I forget his name. I forget his first name. Nick Stark said he would love to see me break down Davy Garcia. Yeah, I'll do another Davy Garcia breakdown. I've done a few in the past, but they obviously are not getting found. So, yeah, I'll do a Davy Garcia. Benji Stokar says, what's your opinion on the Astro scandal? Look, it's atrocious what they did. It's atrocious. I've heard some rumors that the Yankees did something like that, but I don't think what the Yankees did was close. I think the Yankees were using video after the game to break down pitch sequences and to kind of see if they can figure out signs, which MLB said was a no-no. But the Astros were actually relaying, high-definition footage to a guy in their dugout who was banging on a trash can to let you know if a curveball was coming. That's a different kind of cheating, and I think it's extremely wrong. Prince Boss says Kluber could return to Cy Young form again in New York. I hope so, man. Can you imagine a Cy Young caliber Garrett Cole, Corey Kluber, and maybe, if he comes back strong, Luis Severino? Luis Severino, I think, finished top 3 in Cy Young in 2017. Let's see. Who do you think has a better chance to break out this season, Nick Nelson, Davey, or Clark? Well, it's hard to compare because Nick Nelson, we only got to look at him out of the bullpen. I know he's made some starts in the minor leagues. I like Nick Nelson's stuff the best of any of them because he throws 98. I think he's better suited for the bullpen, which is why I think they used him in the bullpen instead of as a starter. I think Davey kind of had a breakout last year. I know his ERA was 4.98, but he made 6 starts. How stupid is it that I know these stats? They're so ingrained in my mind I can just regurgitate them. But he made 6 starts, and he was pretty solid. He went into the 7th inning multiple times. Davey Garcia, the thing about Davey that worries me is his velocity was way down last year. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but we'd seen him at 97 in the minor leagues. And you hear guys like Pedro talk about him, and they talk like he's going to be the next big thing. But then, you see his velocity at 92, 93, and you wonder, is that going to be enough? But Clark Schmidt also had issues. The best baseball movie, 2021 Yankees World Series, Doc. I'd give you hey, we're going to get a party horn to that. We're going to get the party horn. Oh my God, guys. When you get married, one of the favorite things that you'll do if you're not married is find ways to annoy your spouse. And whenever I do something that annoys my wife, like sometimes I'll leave I like to leave the caps off of bottles. I'm sure if my mom sees this, she'll understand that too. And so, if my wife goes to pick up the dishwasher liquid and it's all hard because I left the cap off, she'll say, "You screwed up the, whatever again." And I say, "Maximum Derek." Fwah, fwah, fwah. It's a line from, what's the show? A Good Place. A Good Place. So let's see. 44 needs a movie. Oh, absolutely. They definitely need a movie about Hank Aaron. I would love to see a movie about Hank Aaron that takes place during the winter before he broke the record. Because if you remember, he broke the record in either the first or second game of the season in, I want to say 1972 or 73. Whenever it was, he broke the record, 77 maybe. But that whole winter, he had to think about it. And he was getting all sorts of hate mail. And I think given the political climate in our country where there's a lot of racial divisions and stuff like that, it could be a moving piece to see someone accurately portray, how far we've come, hopefully. G-Man, speaking of which, says, how about 42? I love 42. I love it. And Chadwick Boseman, I almost get emotional thinking about it because Chadwick Boseman was one of my favorite actors and unfortunately gone too soon. Sin Clan says, hey, big fan, watching for 2 months now, would love for you to notice me. I notice you, man. I notice everybody. A lot of times in the chat, I'm answering a question, and I'll be talking, and 100 chats will go by. So I don't see everybody's chat, and I don't always see people donate and stuff like that. And believe me, I'm so appreciative when people donate. I don't need your hard-earned money, and you don't have to send me money, but it's always appreciated. I need money like everybody else needs money, right? But I'm not going to beg people. There are people who come on here hit that donate button. I would never, ever ask anyone to donate money for me. I get money from ads. This channel is doing fine. I bought a brand new car a month ago. I'm doing fine. But anybody who wants to, feel free, but I'm sorry if I miss it. I know a few people I've missed it a few times, and I feel so horrible because I want to say thank you. So if you have donated, just say thank you. So anyway, back to my point. I miss the chat. So if I see your chat, I notice it, but I don't always see every chat. My boy Peter knows all about getting married. Look, being married is the best. Let's see. Maximum Derek. Damn right. I feel like this is going off the rail, but this has been a 45-minute live stream. I don't really do these type of oh crap, Mike Prince. I keep interrupting myself, but this is worth interrupting for. 61, actually 61 with an asterisk. That's another great movie about the 61 Yankees. That was my dad's favorite team. He wrote me an email one time where he said that was his favorite summer of his entire life. And I hope I can have a summer like that. That would be amazing to see two Yankees going at the home run record. But it was directed by Billy Crystal. They filmed it in Tiger Stadium. And Barry Pepper, who plays Roger Maris, is the spitting image of Roger Maris in that movie. And he was really under that freaking microscope. Do you think Estevan Florial will be the backup center fielder? This is going to get me into some trouble. I made a video a couple of days ago. Some of you seen it. Oh, thanks, Patrick. Patrick sent me $2. Patrick, I got to send you money from our podcast. But back to Estevan Florial. Sorry, I'm losing my voice here. So I did a video the other day, and I posted it on Facebook, and the reception on Facebook was not as favorable as it was in the comments of my people saying, "Oh, he's so far away from the major leagues. You're dreaming. You're disconnected from reality." Look, I've been watching baseball a long time. I know that Estevan Florial struck out a lot in the minor leagues and that he hit .237. But I'm telling you, from seeing this guy from seeing baseball for 30 plus years and watching this guy develop over the past few years, Estevan Florial can play. Estevan Florial can flat out play baseball. Will he be the backup center fielder or the backup outfielder in general, the fourth outfielder? I don't know. But we're going to see him this year because he's on the 40-man roster. And the Yankees have had a ton of injuries over the past few years. You know that at some point somebody's going to get hurt. You hope not. But, if I had to bet, I would bet that at some point this season, Aaron Hicks is going to need a couple of weeks on the IL. Or Aaron Judge is going to need 4 weeks on the IL. It's just the way it's been. And I would love to see Florial get a chance because he's got that left-handed bat. He's got a ton of power. He's got a ton of speed. He's got a ton of opposite field power. And he's tremendous defensively. Patrick says, Facebook comments make me rethink life sometimes. I agree, man. So I got off of Twitter. Some of you guys followed me on NYY Recaps on Twitter. And I actually deleted that account. I had 3 accounts. I had one for my other channel, which is Streamski, which is where I do movie reviews and stuff. It's actually featured on my channel. So I'll actually type it in the chat real quick. Streamski. So, if you want to follow my other channel, I do occasional movie reviews and things like that. But I had 3 Twitters. I had one for Streamski, I had one for my Musings of Derek, which is my personal account, and I had one for NYY Recaps. And between the 3 of them, I had 25 or 30 followers because I tweet like once a month, and it's always just tweeting my own stuff or taking a picture of a movie or something like that. And so, I just decided, you know what? There's no point in me having 3 Twitter accounts. Let me focus on just one. So I made one Twitter account, and honestly, I try not to look at it. Justice Cubing says, I just got off Twitter, and life is great. I couldn't agree more. I deleted Facebook for like a year because I was tired of seeing all the political ads and stuff like that. And I live in a swing state, so we get nonstop ads and nonstop calls and stuff. I just didn't want to look at it. I just didn't want to see it. And so I decided that I'm just going to distance myself from social media. There's a phrase, I'm in marketing, right? And there's a phrase in marketing, be good at one thing. It's be great at one thing, don't be good at 20 things. I've kind of taken the approach of, I'm going to put all my effort into being great at making YouTube videos. I'm great at my job. I work hard at my job. I would love to make YouTube full time, but realistically, it's not going to be a thing for several years probably. If you look at socialblade.com, which shows like where people are tracking, it shows like different accounts. Basically, by this time next year, they have me penciled in for 50,000 subscribers. Which I do not mean this as any insult to Talking Yanks. I love those guys; they're great. But I was comparing me to them. They started 2 years ahead of me, and they're going to be at about 26 to 30 at this time next year, which means that I'm growing at an exponential rate. So by this time next year, maybe I could be mostly full-time. But I still think it's going to take a couple years. But I would eventually like to develop a show, a baseball show that has 1 million watchers. That basically where I get like a celebrity and go watch a baseball game with them and talk to them in a cafe or in a stadium, club, restaurant, that type of thing. So the Trek reviewer. Oh my God, do you do Star Trek reviews? I'm about to sub to you right now if that's the case. Hang on. Any chance we could see Anthony Siegler this year? I don't think so. He's still a bit far away. I think you really, realistically, could see Austin Wells at some point. I know he hasn't even played in the minor leagues, but he was a college hitter, and if they want to use him as a bat, it's probably really a reach for me to say that. But hey, it is what it is. I'd love to see him get a chance, but it really depends on what the season looked like, what the injury situation looks like, and how much he's able to develop. But typically a college bat can move quickly. Kyman says, will you collab with Foolish Baseball? I would love to collaborate with anyone out there. Some of you guys know diehard Yankees fan. I don't think he's on here. Diehard Yankees fan 447. I don't have his name offhand. I think that's right. But he and I are going to do a collaboration. He's got a channel with almost 2,000 subscribers. His microphone volume is a little high. I've told him that numerous times. One thing about microphones is that you got to really turn them almost all the way down. You think it's way too low, but you don't realize how much these things amplify your voice. That's why I hate when politicians yell. That's why I hate politics. But when politicians yell into the microphone, they freaking drive me nuts. Because microphones amplify your voice. Just talk. Anyway, I'm gonna have that guy on. Benji Stokar says the Yankees should trade Tyler Wade. So look, I have not been casual about the fact that I'm not a Tyler Wade fan. I think he makes a lot of bonehead moves for a guy who's known for running the bases. He makes a lot of bonehead moves on the bases. Trek Revere says he'll be doing reviews by the end of the year. I'm happy to collab with anybody who's not creating a Yankees channel on my work on how to build this stuff and help you out. I'm happy to help you out in any way I can. But Tyler Wade, by the way, back to Tyler Wade, I think he makes a lot of bonehead moves on the bases. We've seen him, not tag up on balls that get caught. We've seen him steal in weird situations, but I do like that he can go first to third on a base hit. He can always score from second on a base hit. He's got that kind of speed, and he's good on defense. He's very good on defense. I've even seen him play the outfield a few times, so you can move him around. He's quite versatile. I think he played in the most Yankees wins last year, and I don't think that's a coincidence because he can give guys, an opportunity to shift over. He can go anywhere in the field and make it work, and hopefully you can just arrange it in a way that he goes into the game in the 8th inning and doesn't have to bat. A lot of people don't like him, but okay, so I promised I would do this. 12 is about a young kid who doesn't make a team but practices all winter and becomes the best player in the league. Okay, no, Naked Gun baseball scene was hilarious. Frank Drebin. That came out when I was a kid. I remember, okay, I'm going to tell you guys a couple of stories. I'm loving that I'm getting a chance to just do it like kind of a personal talk this time. Because I spend so much time breaking down baseball, but we've all been locked in forever that it makes me happy to talk to people, even if I can't hear you. So 1993 or so was the Naked Gun franchise. Patrick says he's better than Tyler Wade. I don't disagree, Patrick. And Frank Drebin was played by I forget the guy's name. And the guy from Naked Gun was this old guy, white hair. And O.J. Simpson was in that movie. And O.J. Simpson was in the final one was called, I think, Naked Gun 33 1/3. And I watched that with my friend Ben Fari. And right around that time, O.J. allegedly killed his wife and another woman. Or another guy, a wife and a guy, and his name was Ron Goldman. And, but I mean, to be fair, what was she wearing? No, I'm just kidding. Don't cancel me. No. So look, horrible. He almost certainly did it. In fact, he wrote a book called, I think, I Did It. I think he wrote a book called I Did It, or If I Did It, something along those lines. Not that it's funny. But that summer, Ben and I watched Naked Gun 33 and a third like 20 times. And then OJ's trial came on. And Ben and I watched the trial all summer. And that summer seemed like it was forever. I mentioned earlier my dad's favorite summer. My favorite summer was watching baseball and with Ben and watching the OJ trial and playing Sega Genesis and playing baseball in the backyard and swimming in my swimming pool. And we watched that trial all summer. And then OJ got acquitted. I moved out of New York to North Carolina. And then like 5 or 10 years ago, I went to reach out to Ben. And so I went to go look him up because I heard he was living in Las Vegas. And I was going to Las Vegas for a poker tournament. I don't play poker, but I was going to be running an event that was going to be there. And so I'm going out there for the World Series of Poker, and I look Ben up, and I find out that he's in jail for murdering his girlfriend. He murdered his girlfriend, and he was in jail with O.J. Simpson. So it kind of came full circle for Ben. Sorry if that went all over. Let's see. Being talented, he's a professional baseball. I don't know what that means. I don't know who we're talking about. I must have missed the first half of that conversation. This is what I was talking about being behind. Are the Yankees going to get Paxton back for cheap? That's something I've been thinking about. Let's say you get to spring training, and I think Paxton will sign with someone in spring training. Let's say you get to spring training, and one of the Yankees' lottery tickets, either Corey Kluber or Jameson Taillon, doesn't look good or is hurt. I think the first step is to give one of the young guys a shot, a Davy Garcia or a Clark Schmidt. But if one of those guys gets hurt and you need a third pitcher, I could see the Yankees trying to get Paxton. That's one of the reasons I don't think they've brought back Gardy with $9 million left, because, you could get maybe Paxton for $5 or $6 million at this point. Let's see. Who were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about my buddy Ben Fari. Growing up. Patrick says, me versus Gardner is a storyline to watch in 2021. Yo, Patrick, you've got to start a series called Me versus Gardner. Which one of you plays for the Yankees next? Okay. So, all right, let's send your questions. I see a lot of comments, but I'm not seeing many questions here, so keep them coming. I personally feel like the Yankees should work more on throwing, hitting, and fundamentals instead of working out. I don't necessarily know if throwing is the thing that they need to work on. I can't think of many instances where there were bad throws. Occasionally, Gleyber Torres takes too long to throw, and he'll do that thing where he double pats, kind of like they tell a quarterback not to pat the ball. They tell infielders it's instinctive. You want to pat the ball because you're not just patting to pat the ball. When you get the ball, you pick it up out of your glove, you get the ball into your hand quickly, and then you pat to get the ball into the right position to throw. So if I field the ball like this, they call it alligator, right? The ball, this is my glove. The ball rolls into my glove. I'm stopping it with my hand. So the first thing you do is get your heel, or the heel of your palm on the heel of the glove, and then you pull the ball up like this. Some guys are able to, as they're going into their throwing motion, I don't know how slow you can see that, switch the ball from that four-finger grip to a cross-seam fastball, because you want to throw cross-seam. You don't want to throw like a changeup or a cutter across a diamond. You don't want it to have any movement. You want it to be straight over top seam. So that's the four-seam grip, if you can see that. So what you're going to want to do is pull it out and get into that grip. But some guys can't do that. Some guys like to jam the ball back into their glove and kind of adjust their fingers on the fly, kind of like that. There are some fundamentals that I think the Yankees need to work on. I've seen a lot of pitchers struggling to pick up those little ground balls and stuff. One thing that I've always helped or found that helped me, and that I've taught when I've coached a few times, when you're picking up a dribbler, and if you can do this, great, push down on it. Push the ball into the grass. That stops its side-to-side momentum. The ball's rolling, you just kind of pin it like you would pin it to a glove. and that allows you to set your grip. I think the Yankees need more switch hitters or lefty bats. Couldn't agree more, buddy. That's why I like Florial as a potential outfielder because, he hits lefty and he's got power, and I think he's going to be a good hitter. I know a lot of people are doubting him. I think he's going to be a good hitter. Let's see. What do you think about Marcell Ozuna? I think he's a really good player. I don't think he fits with the Yankees. I've seen a lot of people say that the Yankees should get Marcell Ozuna, but to me, he would be kind of a redundant player because he's a right-handed outfielder that really, he's basically what they already have. They already have Judge, they have Stanton, they have, Frazier. I mean, I just don't see the point of getting another right-handed outfielder. All right, give me some good songs to listen to. We did movies. Let's do some music. Hey, Derek. Great stuff. Enjoy your videos. Thank you. Who has the most pressure for this season, Gary, Herman, or Torres? I think Gary's under a lot of pressure because if he has another bad year, he could be headed to the minor leagues. Herman, I think, is under a bit of pressure too because, he didn't pitch last year and he's got to prove to himself that he's not only physically, ready to go, but that he's mentally in a good spot. You can't be hitting your girlfriend. And then I feel like Glaber, he just needs to do some work on his defense, but I don't think he's feeling that much pressure. He's not going to get moved. The Yankees did sign Greg Allen. He's a switch-hitting outfielder. Brian Hoke talked about him on his Hoke Happy Hour. Last time I did one of these live streams, I was drinking whiskey, and I got that idea from Brian Hoke and from Joe Rogan. And somebody called me in my comments unprofessional, and so I shadow banned them. I don't think it would... Look, I'm not professional at this. I'm an amateur, and sometimes I want to drink a little whiskey. And doing a live stream while I have a glass of whiskey is a good way to kill some time while you have a glass of whiskey, because I'm basically getting a chance to talk a little bit of baseball with my baseball fam. So, anyway, Calm Down, Anderson .Paak. Yes, I love Anderson .Paak. I first started listening to him after he was on that Eminem album a couple of years ago. Was it, I feel like it was Lock It Up, maybe, was the song he was on there with Eminem. I'm a big Eminem fan. THG says, do you like 70s to 80s rock? Yes, I love Steely Dan. My dad always says that I have music tastes that are way different from what I should. And I think it's just because of what they listen to. My dad was a drummer, and what they would listen to while I was a fetus and a little kid. It just kind of got engraved. I love Steely Dan. I love Elton John, Aerosmith, Billy Joel. Big fan of the Rocky IV soundtrack. Living in America. Let's see. Banji says Stokar Sanchez sucks at fielding. I don't disagree with you. I hate to use the term sucks, but look, you were able to overlook his defense because he was such a good offensive player for those 2017 seasons and then a couple years ago. But his oh my God, Patrick, oh man, I need like a what was my clown horn? Here we go. That's a clown comment, bro. MGK is not even in Eminem's stratosphere. A great baseball song is Swing. Are you talking about Sultans of Swing by Grateful Dead, maybe? That's probably a different song than you're thinking. Do we think we should bat Hicks first in the lineup and LeMahieu third? No, and I'll tell you why they're doing... Look, and I'm not a big Hicks supporter either. I think he needs to prove himself a bit more. But I like what they're doing with the lineup there. So the lineup is probably going to be this. It's probably going to be LeMahieu leading off, Judge second, Hicks third, because if LeMahieu gets on base and Judge hits a home run, you've basically got another leadoff hitter in Hicks because he can draw walks, he's got a little speed, get on base, and he's going to work the count. And you can really create a problem for a pitcher if you keep putting guys on in the first inning. Then you've got Stanton, probably, I would say, batting fourth. We saw what he did in the postseason. Then probably Glaber, I would say, would be fifth. Sixth, I would probably go with Frazier at sixth, just because I think he's going to be way improved this year. And I want to see him get more at-bats. I want to see him get more RBI opportunities because he puts the ball in play. And, when he hits home runs, he tends to, hit like 3-run home runs. So where are we? 7th in the order, I'm going Urshela. 8th, I'm going, let's see. Who have I left out? I've left somebody out. I feel like I've left somebody out. 8th, maybe. Yeah, probably 8th. I'd go with Sanchez because, in the National League, you hit the pitcher 8th. I left out Luke Voit. So slot everybody. Luke Voit probably hits 4th and Stanton 5th. And then you move down everybody else 1 spot. El Fugo caught it. Yeah, I think Luke Voigt's going to have a big year. Look, I've seen some pictures of him working. Have you guys seen his workouts? Have you guys seen Luke Voit recently? The dude looks like he's made of frickin' steel. The dude looks like he's made of some other kind of metal from another planet that we can't even produce here. The man is a species unto himself. And he hits the ball so hard, so hard. All right, a couple more minutes because I need to go take my dogs out. So I'll do 3 more questions. Next three questions. And then I'm going to head out. Because I think an hour, 6 minutes. Yeah, Bork says Gio disrespect. Yeah, I like Gio a lot. But I like him at the bottom of the order because he can turn the lineup over. So maybe him, 8th or 9th. I don't know. It's tough. The Yankees are loaded. Their lineup is so good. Let's see. Do you think the Yankees need to play more small ball? That's an interesting question. I think they need to have ways to score other than home runs, yes. But if you go back to the playoffs and you look, most of the runs scored in baseball, were hit via the home run. That's just how it is. But I do think the Yankees could do more situational hitting, right? You come up with a guy on second and nobody out. I don't think you should try and hit a home run in that situation. I think you should try and get a base hit and try and get that run in. I think you should try and anticipate how the pitcher is going to try and get you out. And instead of trying to wait for the pitcher to make a mistake, as the Yankees do, they hunt mistakes just like the Dodgers do, just like the Twins do. They hunt mistakes. I think the Yankees should go up there looking to look how the pitcher is going to try and get them out and take advantage of that and maybe pick up a base hit. Do you think Gardner will hit 10th? He'd be lucky. I can't believe we wasted a question on that. Edwin NG says, are you planning to do play-by-play stream during the season? So I can't do play-by-play because of MLB rules, but what I can do is a watch party. So what I'll do, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. This is just a quick preview. So this is going to be a watch party. This is just kind of a template for opening day. I'll have the game on basically in front of me. I've got a couple of different ways. I've got a camera over here. I've got a phone thing over here where I can watch it on my phone. It's like mounted. It's like I don't know what it's called. It's like a grapple thing. And I can mount my phone and watch my phone and stick my earphones in. And I can talk about the game as it's going on. And basically we'll just sit on this screen for most of the time. And then during the commercial breaks, I can play little commercials. I've got this. So that's kind of what it is. And somebody told me that my bridge was actually the bridge in San Francisco Bay, and so now I've got to change it. I thought it was the Brooklyn Bridge. I googled Brooklyn Bridge. Oh well. The janitor says, do you have Discord? I used to, but I deleted it because nobody was using it, and I don't really use it. I'm not good at the internet. Unhinged. Dude, we should do some watch parties. I want to talk to Patrick right now. Patrick, stay on the stream for a minute. Patrick, do you want to do a live episode from Yankee Stadium? A 3-hour stream from Yankee Stadium in 2020 when they let fans back in. By the way, I'm buying. Are you down? THG says, updated room. I got news for you. I filmed it. It's in the works. I'll have that. I'm probably going live with that probably during spring training. I just haven't. I've been so busy. I've been doing videos for work. I do I'm in marketing, and so a lot of my job beyond like SEO and stuff like that is doing videos for my businesses, and so I've been working on a lot of those things. Did I say 2020? I think I meant 2021. Why can't they win in the postseason? Look, the Yankees have been a hair away from winning in the postseason the last few years. They should have won in the postseason in 2017, but the Astros cheated them. 2018, were the Red Sox cheating? Maybe. I don't think Major League Baseball wants to admit that the Red Sox are cheating because they're one of the top 3 most popular teams. Nobody gives a shit about the Astros. Listen, let's be honest. Nobody gives a shit about the Astros. But if the Red Sox were caught in a cheating scandal, it would break baseball the way that the White Sox throwing the World Series in 2019 broke in 1918 or 1919 broke baseball. So anyway, so if you guys see me at the stadium, I will be going to a few games this year if they let fans back in. I want you to say hi. I'll be happy to have a beer with you, have a hot dog with you. Just don't shoot me. I'm your number 1 fan. I killed him. Yeah. All right, that's it for me tonight, folks. Hope you enjoyed this unfiltered hour 10 of baseball. Sorry for the skipping. I will see you next time. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.